Good evening and welcome to Division 2 League of Europe Season X. You're here with Mr. NSX Montana streaming and commentating, and I have a lovely co-commentator who I've met 5 minutes ago, which is Mr. Funky Chicken. Who is
ladies
muted.
and gentlemen. No, so make your mic working then. So, Montana, what do you think what do you think of the track of Australia?
It should be removed from existence, but it's probably not gonna happen. It's gonna be an absolute DRS fest in the race, because it's almost an oval nowadays. And we have an interesting grid with people that haven't really raced in pre-season, but some have, and I've got no clue who's in for a top result here or not. I don't know. Have you watched any pre-season races and practice with them?
Yeah, watching D2 pre-season mainly. I kind of thought I'd be commentating over them, and I know a few of them from other leagues in the past, like Wesker, Adamaco, but there was a lot of poor driving, let's say, throughout them. So hopefully we can have a cleaner race this weekend.
Yeah, the pre-season races were a bit of a shambles, but now with damage on, and of course Australia being quite a sketchy track, it should result in cleaner racing. But don't worry, we'll still roast all the drivers as much as possible, because why the fuck not? So who's the first one starting the lap? Who's first on track? Is it Killer? It is. So, if you had to guess, what will your top 3 look like tonight? And it would help if you have the mic on when you say it. Tell us. Alright. Technical difficulties, check. Alright, I'll just cover then. It might. Yeah. As Killer is warming up his tires.
Is it working now?
Kinda, yeah.
Yes.
No, it's not. I don't know. We'll see. Killer is not the leader anymore on track, which is annoying. I would have loved to guide you through a lap of him. It's Larkin. So we'll have to do with that, which is a shame, but here he goes anyways. Preparing his tires, you want to have about 90-degree tire temps, some like it a bit colder, so they have some more left at the end of the lap. We'll see how he does it. Takes a wide entry and straightens up the exit for the first lap of Division 2 League of Europe Season X. And he's already encountering traffic in turn 1, hopefully that doesn't take the eye of it. You want to avoid the curb really on the game this year. Absolute shambles already from Larkin. But here we go anyways. Continues with it, just wants to set in a banker lap now. Brake for this curb, you don't really want to touch that one and does it anyways. He really says fuck this distance tonight. Absolutely avoids any curbs there. Easy flat through here. And then probably one of the most crucial corners, but not that hard on this game. Just send it through there, I hope the curb doesn't kill you. And then on this straight, if you have a good teammate, you can actually slipstream each other for 2/10. Not happening at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if we see any. Straight to the left, endlessly bottoming out. Wherever and ever, then flicking the chicane, don't want to touch this curb. He avoids the right curb, which is interesting. You absolutely have to obliterate that. Or you can if you want to. Then into the last sector. Hairpin quite awkward with inside curve being quite high. He doesn't choose the outside curve. Just a little lift here. Larkin, it's a bit more of a lift. Just kisses the curve nicely, don't want to take too much of it. Tires are dying of death right now. Onto the final straight. And let's say it's a banker lap. We'll probably see. Oh, as Petruka immediately takes it by almost a second. And Killer himself puts in a 0.3.
Yeah, I think it should be working now. Is it?
Yeah, it is now. After a lot of weird noises, it probably is working. And it's not anymore. Yeah, if you have any other headphones, that'd be great. If you can just plug them in. Like phone headphones, and use them. I think it's just some kind of electrical issue. Anyways, back to the race. We've got Wesker, we've got Joom, which is really exciting. Doing Joom things, matching colors with his car in terms of validation. Alex the G, commentator himself, driving to the line, flying German, I think, puts it on provisional pole. 17-1, that's a decent banker lap for him. Really on laps. Luke, if he treats this like a formation lap, which he's gonna miss tonight, he should be quite quick. Drew with a 17-4 for a delta time for him. Not quite finished the lap valid. Miami into the pits. Chris is about to finish the lap. He looked quite clean out the last corners. Let's see if he can put a 17 in as well. Yeah, 17.5 puts him fourth. What about Luke? Not a bad middle sector split. Also puts it in 0.5. It's getting close already. Chills middle sector, let's not talk about that. Ferrari slipstreaming, but he's out of ERS, so I don't think that's a valid run. Let's see, Mort's probably the next one to cross the line. Into the fast chicane. Close your eyes and send it. That was quite clean. Oh, you don't want to take a little bit of the curve. You want to take it completely, or not at all. Because otherwise it does this. It just wants to hug you forever. It's probably not ideal. Interesting using second gear, but gets really nice rotation. Not too much oversteer, not too much understeer. Lovely stuff. Second gear as well. Uses all of the track. Picks up some marbles on the right. You have to be careful with that. And then onto the line. I think this could be a potential provisional. No, it's not. Also 0.5. Banker laps by 16 people. Couple of invalid ones. And also invalid laps. And let's see, Lifepod starting his lap. And invalid. So easy to do. Run a bit wide in turn 1. And maybe touch the inside curve a little bit. Puts you off. And then you're invalid. Scream into the pits, and we have no one on laps. So let's see if Mr. Funky Chicken is back with a mic.
New mic, so is this one working now?
It is at the moment.
Yeah, so don't have any faulty wires on it, hopefully. I'll have to turn it out.
Alright, let's see how that goes. Still cuts out a little bit, but it's fine.
Yeah. I'll have to try sort some out for next week, but go back to this week then. Yeah, from previous leagues I've known Portuguese beasts to be absolutely rapid around certain tracks, and I can't remember if him around Australia, but obviously from this quali session alone I can tell he's still got that pace from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he was also quick in pre-season, but only in one race really. I think it was France, and then another one in Miami. He wasn't really up there, but he has the potential. And Alex G, I don't think he's raced in any of the pre-season lobbies, so at least not in Division 2, so looking good at the moment.
I remember Alex G last year also being promoted, I think, to D1 at a certain point. I don't know if he raced much after that, but I really think he dominated D2 racing, got moved up, and Killers in P-Series we kind of expect. He's normally quite quick around, or quick on the F1 games. Normally see him in the back end of D1. In the second season?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Which is something that is really curious in this game. Larkin has completely fallen off. He seems to be struggling with something. In pre-season he was already quite far behind. And again, in Banker Lap wasn't really something worth showing, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm on board with Lam going through his lap, but I was trying to stop Mike. And he just he missed a few airfares and then lost more time, but I can't remember if it was last game or but he had a massive incident around this track where in this barn into turn 3 he outbroke himself. I think wiped out a couple of drives. I think Luke 05. I expect to be quite quick around here. Only sat in P6 at the moment. We'd expect to be a bit higher, but he wiped into him. I think they both DNF'd that race, so that might be something to watch out for in the race.
Yeah, generally DNFs will be a big thing in this race. The chicanes are quite deadly, and once you hit it, there's an immediate safety car pretty much guaranteed. As we've seen in D1 2 times. Ooh, we don't want traffic there. Larkin is improving, I think he's heard us. He's still avoiding that curve as if it's herpes or something. But If that's his choice, then probably a safer way to do it. Maybe better as a banker lap. You could do 4 runs as well here, if you're really in a hurry. And you don't need a huge set of softs in a race, but you could use 2 mediums if the occasion arises, but that's also quite difficult to pull off.
Yeah, I'm currently on board with Liam down in the Williams in P11 now, and he's improving a bit in the first sector, but he has already invalidated his lap, which isn't great, but he was going into like a very low gear into turn 1, so I don't know if that's maybe just a bit of a comfort thing to build, but it's into 4th gear.
I'm also using 4th in turn 1. It kind of works at regulating the speed. Portuguese speed up by 600s, but then misses the apex by 2 kilometers and invalidates. And Tope went up to P3, by the way, with a really good lap. He was quick in pre-season. Killer gets a huge snap. That's probably ruined his first sector. Let's see the delta. Still quicker, so he definitely has some more time to find. And am I tripping, or is this guy getting a bit grey?
Yeah, it's clouding for him, getting a bit overcast, so maybe there's some potential for rain for the end of qualifying today.
Yeah, I don't know if you can just check the Discord if there's any talk of rain in the chats, but
I'm not in the chat, unfortunately. I don't think. But yeah, going on to a driver you said that had fallen off a bit in Larkin. Another driver as well, J. Cole. I remember the last 2 years he's been pretty strong around some tracks, and this year just seems to be struggling a lot to get to grips with the car.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting game, and if you don't have the confidence and are just sending it everywhere, that's the result of it. As Killer gets to the line, improves, but he has a lot more time in there. Another driver that is interesting is Joom, because you never know with him. Sometimes he's top of Division 1, sometimes he's bottom of Division 2. I really have no clue how quick he is in this game. I haven't seen him this time. Probably got the beta again, like every single year. Oh, I absolutely jinxed him. Into the wall. In Ferrari style.
His demotes there after the second set split, just slightly down in his time there, but hits the corner quite well, then gets on the power well. Just a bit of a snap on the exit and then going into the penultimate corner. It's quite a tricky braking zone exit. It is quite easy to clip the grass, but it hits the apex quite nicely. Keeps it in 3rd gears, upshifts into 4th and accelerates hard up to the line there. I think it might be a slight improvement, but not as much to get him up a position, as he improves by just over 1/10 and a half and goes purple in the final sector.
Yeah, very nicely done. Yeah, easy to break on the grass in a couple of spots on this track. If you touch it, you're screwed for the next corner. J. Cole invalid, and also invalidated his lap. Still down in P19, he probably wants to get a banker lap in as soon as possible. I don't think we have anyone on an actual lap, because Wesker seems to be pitting as well. As Killer... Wait, what?
Is
he... How?
Is he retired in the pit lane? Or
has he pressed the wrong button? Did he want to go into race director and retire?
I don't know, but I just want to point out how close the grid is as well. From P8 down to 16, just 2 separating 8 cars.
Yeah, it was quite close at stages in pre-season as well, and it's good to see 17 drivers into the 17s, just for the OCD at the moment. But it's a really odd one from Killer, I can't explain it. He probably wanted to check race director in the pause menu, and chose retire from session. Or he's already given up, thought that's the best I can do, but that would be unusual. He only did 2 sets of softs, and I don't think he chose 2 sets of hards and 2 sets of mediums, right?
Yeah, it'd be really strange if he did, but yeah, it's just really strange. There's quite a few people as well still at position, I'd say, on the grid, just from basing off previous games. I know Lifebout last game, he was really quick, and he's currently down in P17 and over 8/10 off the pace, which we saw him at the sharp end battling for a title last season. And also still a bit of time in his lap down in P19.
Yep. Yeah, I think Lifeboat has shown some pace in preseason, but at the same time, then at other stages, he's just absolutely bottled it. And we have 1 car back on track. Wesker, the last one really to come in, is going out again. And he needs to hurry up, because if he doesn't, there will be tons of traffic on his lap. Let's see if anyone does the slipstreaming on the last run, but I don't think anyone in Division 2 is keen or comfortable to do so at the moment. Like, it is a good gain, especially when the grid is close. I'm actually a bit surprised no one does it.
Again, you probably attack even 2 if you absolutely perfect it, but it's very hard to perfect it, as we've now got a Haas and a Williams and Alfa Romeo going out on track, and the Haas of Pawtucka will be the second to complete his lap, so I think this should be his final run in qualifying today.
Yeah, you can abort and go for another run, but that's not ideal. The slipstream in the middle sector, when you absolutely perfect it, it's 2.5 tenths. But if it's a bit awkward with the fast corner leading onto the straight, so if you just give us a little slipstream, it's still a tenth-ish worth, at least. So, especially with the grid this close, it could be worth a shot, but it's also hard to coordinate with so many people on track. And you want to take us for a lap around Australia with Wesker?
Yep, I'll just quick go on board the maze. He's gone into 8th gears, he's just about to cross the start finish line. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead there with the Mercedes. He brakes just after the 50-metre board, turns in nicely, hits the curb and uses a bit of curb on the exit. He could have used maybe a tiny bit more, but that would have been very close to invalidating. Now heading down into turn 3, this is quite a tricky braking zone, as you can go in a bit too deep, but hooks it in nicely in 3rd gear, then short shifts up to 4th, which is a bit surprising. Goes into 5th and then hooks it round fully flat through there into 7th gear, and then the new corner from last season breaks a bit on the grass there and loses a lot of momentum. He set a purple sector 1, but I think he's lost a lot of time there by going on the grass. He just causes him to go in a little bit too deep as he enables DRS now down this long straight, I have to say, as well, as going to go into the fast chicane there. He turns it in nice, hits the first curve nicely, loses the rear can, goes onto the grass and through the gravel trap he goes.
Yeah, it looked like a really good first sector for him, but then it just all went away once he made a mistake. Pawtucka, purple in the first sector. He should be fighting traffic as well, so you can finish a lap with him maybe in the last sector if he doesn't bottle it, then we didn't jinx him.
Yeah, so then just where Wesker just fell victim to into the fast chicane, doesn't use as much inside curb there, but takes a lot through the right hand and absolutely nails it. Goes up into 8th gear, a bit of traffic and the Mercedes moving out of the way then into this new braking zone, which can be quite tricky with the grass, but he gets it nicely. 3rd gear then up into 4th. And this pretty quick right-hander as well, which goes down to 5th, holds it well. Doesn't use all the track on the outside and misses the apex a little bit there through the penultimate corner, but hooks it up nicely on the inside there through the final corner. Doesn't use much of the track on the outside, but up to the line. Does a 1:17.179, which puts him P2 just ahead of his teammate.
Very close. Looked like a clean lap for him, especially the chicane, absolutely flawless. Well, that's his qualifying done now. And now let's see the improvements from the other guys. As RJW videos almost goes backwards in the last sector, encountering a lot of traffic. Ferrari just jumping out the way there. That's probably Joom. Now Joom is the car ahead, so that was Portuguese Beast starting his lap. Who should we go on board so many laps? Alex the G invalidates. Definitely not the top G tonight. Let's see if anyone else. Oh, more to the massive first sector. 2.5 tenths up on his lap. Looking good. Let's see the top speed. You want to be close to 330 on this straight. Seems to run quite high wings. Still 2 tenths up. Oh, risks it on the curb. Takes a bit too much. And that's his qualifying in the win. Unreal.
As just in the Alfa Romeo with Chris there putting a strong lap, moving up into P3 and just 7 thousandths behind Pawtucka there, so you can see how close the grid is just between the top 4.
Very close, and it's gonna get even closer. Tope invalidate lap turn 1 and 2, so that's game over for him. Luke invalid as well. Anyone else that can challenge the top guys? Portuguese Beast, how is he doing? Purple middle sector apparently, but you never know with the game. Let's see if he can pull it off. I want to see a 16 tonight, come on. Oh, breaks a lot through there. Into the last 2 corners. 2nd gear for him. Uses all the track. Can he squeeze into the 16s? I don't think he can. It's a 17... Oh, 16.9. Lovely lap for him, even with a little mistake in the final sector. Anyone there to challenge him?
There's no one to challenge him, but on board with Larkin. He's not even improving his time after the 2nd sector. Only half tenths, there's a bit of a wiggle there. probably lost him a bit of times. That AlphaTauri might be a bit of a distraction for him as he's in his eye line, but again, hooks into the final corner, not as close to the apex as we saw Patuka go, but up to the line here. Is it even going to be an improvement? So a 10th improvement, but it only moves him up into P15.
And Joom does a Joom classic by not selling a single lap in qualifying. And we have one lovely lap from Portuguese Beast into the 16s with a pole position. The two Hasses really, really good as a team effort in P2 and P4. Chris with a late lap and a lot of bottled last runs. The pressure, the track limits really tough on this track. So a couple of people out of position, I would say.
Yes, I know I keep referring to it, but I know J. Cole down in P19, it's a bit of a surprise. I know Wesker, he can be quick on his day, but I don't think, between track and track, I think he can be quite slow, so I don't know if we've seen out from him. But also Adamako in his official debut in LOE, that's not pre-season, qualifies P6, which is a strong effort there from the Britishman.
Very strong indeed. So we have Portuguese Beast out of Patuka, Chris, Alex the G, Killer, Adamako, Tope, Mort, Rick, and Liam as a top 10. Top 10 within half a second, 5.7 tenths. It's decent, especially from P2 to P10. It's really close. So congrats to the admins at the moment. Looks like they really nailed that with the pace differential. So the Portuguese Beast isn't too OP, but we'll see.
Yeah, and also Luke and Lifebout not even making the top 10, and these were the two people fighting towards the front end of D2 last season, so shows how much everyone else around them has improved and to the new.
Yeah, and also be ready quickly because there's no formation lap on this year's game because it's glitched apparently. It disqualifies some people from the race if done wrong. Your mic is still cutting out a little bit, so I think it just has to do with the controller plug-in thing. But let's see if it
should be fine now.
Yeah, it's fine
Can
now again.
help anyway.
So let's see the strategies. You could do medium hard, you could do hard medium.
I think I saw from D1 as well. I think safety cars can play a massive role in the strategy because if you start on the hard and there's an early safety car, you might even have to think about pitting onto the mediums there, as everyone around you might pit on for the hard tyres and then they don't even have to make another stop.
Yes, exactly. But because also, like, we had a safety car in Division 1 quite early on, I think lap 4, and no one pitted from the whole grid. So you can't go too early, the tyres will fall off. They will make it to the end, but they will fall off. And if there's another safety car, which is not unlikely to have 2 or 3 of those, especially with those chicanes, it could be just a bit of a gamble, to be honest. Just be ready, be up there, and then see what other guys around you do. Top guys probably want to go for mediums, as we have to start. 5 lights on, and we have lights out, and Division 2 Season X has started. Good start from Portuguese Beast on a set of hard tires. It's only 3 wide into turn 1. Don't do it, guys, please. Looks fairly clean. Any collisions? No, not really. Well done. I said that too early, didn't I? So, some people still going side by side, but they have sorted it out somehow. Are we watching Division 2 or are we on the wrong stream? I don't know. So Joom is off track and gets a penalty for good measure, exploring the Australian wildlife. And a lot of hard runners, but we also got 6 medium runners. So quite split strategies. Adamako and Tope are going at it. Oh my gaggle of cars.
Yes, I was going on board with people at the bottom end of the grid. Rick's had a shocking start. He's gone from P9 to P14 without any collisions, making us the Constantine effect. Then near the corner as well, and they go right into the back of the Killer in front. Just see cars all over the place now.
Adamako just went from P7 down to P13. He got absolutely harassed into those corners. Everyone just pressing that beautiful overtake button. Made 2 positions back up out of Miami and Childer were going hand in hand as Larkin sends it around the outside, a little bit of contact. Adamako into the pits, he has wing damage, I think. Must have.
Yeah, I also wondering if maybe Miami's picked up some damage. I saw him going into the back of Luke and just the gap that's formed already between him and Lifebout. It's pretty big.
top 3 are trying to escape, but took on a fresh set of mediums. Obviously, once you get past the 2 leaders, Portuguese Beast with an amazing start on a set of hearts. Even though traction Petuka on the dirty side of the grid, but he's gonna get past Chris on this straight. No, he's not. He's missed the apex. Touch the grass and entry, I think, again. Do you see anyone close for a move on the next straight?
Scream on QBR Chile, they're both on mediums, so there's no advantage from the other, but Scream and the McLaren's going to pull alongside Chile. He just seems to have a lot more straight line speed and he's used that battery to his advantage. I can see he's already down to about 50%, so he's using a lot there, but it's quite easy to save around here from my own experience. Anyways, we're seeing an Alpine of Larkin go wide there. Goes off the tracks there, fortunately doesn't spin the car around, and Scream manages to make gain 2 positions just on that one straight and chicane.
And Rick just sent it on inside for good measure on Larkin, as if it couldn't get any worse. And I think he has to pull out of this one. Now he's sticking it in there. Leave each other space. Beautiful. Rick keeps it on the outside. Hangs onto it. Oh, Larkin onto the Joel and Palmer curve. It's a bit close. Side by side. You don't want to do that in turn 1, guys. Come on. It's backing out. Both spamming their batteries for good measure. And Larkin somehow backs out of it with a little bit of contact, but no damage done. And good racing, I would say.
Yes, we're seeing the pack close up at the front a bit, as well as Chris has closed in on Portuguese Beast, and also Patuka has closed the gap in on Chris up in front there, so be surprised if we don't see one move down the straight. Patuka again goes too deep into that corner there, misses the apex. Is Chris there? Is Chris looking to make a move? He doesn't have his battery on, but Portuguese Beast seems comfortable to sit in front.
Yeah, Patuka thought about going for it on the straight as well. Gained so much time on someone with no DRS there and Slipstream. Scream and Miami. Scream making another move there on Miami. Also tries to avoid the curve, interestingly. Patuka down the inside of Chris. Oh, it shambles, but he somehow keeps it stuck in 3rd gear. You have no acceleration whatsoever. I think he might have gotten away without damage.
Yeah, I think it was more front tyre contacts there, but he just front tyre to rear tyre contacts there, but Patuka just went in too deep. Chris tried to leave the room, but Patuka had already gone in too far and hit his rear tyre and span around, but fortunately he's only lost 4 positions because of it. It's very fortunate there for Patuka.
Yeah, at least he's still in the DRS train, but that's definitely one of those corners that are quite tricky because it's so narrow with that new curve. So a little of shambles there. J. Cole adding a penalty to his LOE collection as Liam and Patuka are also going side by side. Patuka is not enjoying himself at the moment. Doing his best Tony Hawk impression on the curb. Oh, that inside curb is tricky. Oh, well done to Liam to leave some space there. That was very much needed. As Patuka probably wants to get back at him. Can't quite stay close enough. He can. Liam doesn't have the DRS, but he's using the battery. So nothing happening on this straight for this lap, except for Zoom and Wesker down the field. I think Wesker might just have a bit of a shaky exit. Leads are still closing up, everyone just absolutely slipstreaming each other. Alex the G laid on the brakes. And you can already see one issue. The hards and the mediums are really equal at the start of the race, and the mediums are really strong at the end of the race. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Hard Run is leading the race, top 5 all hards. Undercut is not huge with the cold tires, so just stay in the train and work yourself forward bit by bit without wasting too much ERS. But Patuka had a really rough couple of laps now, so he'll need to recover. I absolutely jinxed him. He almost crashed in turn 1. Saved it again though, well done.
Chill is looking to make a move. Scream trying to get back. McLaren has got the DRS, does not go for the dive, just sits in behind for now. He's probably going to look to try to get him into fast chicane here, but Chill seems to have the pace here on Scream, and to say Chill's confident he'd be getting demoted pretty soon. He looks pretty comfortable and he's fighting for some good points this weekend.
Yeah, don't worry, he'll bottle it at some point. Patuka got the penalty as well for good measure. Chris probably almost has to overtake the Portuguese Beast soon because he's getting pressure from Killer. Tope is getting past Mort as well, Mort to the higher wings I think on the straight. Just leaves him by. But now it's getting close. Killer uses some of the battery. Does he go for it? No, not this lap. But it's so close. Top 4 within 0.5 of a second. As Patuka and Liam go at it again. Oh, big snap from Liam. Somehow keeps it in a straight line, and now he's under pressure from Luke. And they have lost the DRS now. Can they regain it?
RJ spat down the back of the field there. Just I think he was about to go into the rear and the Larkin just put to the rear brakes and slam on the bottom of him. When he raised it past for Larkin, it was 3 places down the straight alone and through the chicane. And now RJ's been a victim of Larkin struggles, to be honest.
Yeah, into the pits Larkin goes with his wing damage. Gets a new nose. Not going well for him so far. Maybe he can recover, there's some better tracks coming up for him. Portuguese Beast sliding now already, so rear tires are the limiting factor tonight. After 6 or 7 laps on each tire, you feel it. Can't get too confident with your setup on this track. And I think Chris has to go for this. Yes, he's using the battery a little bit. This is gonna be awkward if he doesn't go for it. He thinks about it. Around the outside, no. Killer down the inside, also no. Oh, it's all bunching up to the chicane. You can follow so closely, there's no dirt here. Oh, and the Portuguese Beast a penalty already on lap 6. Oh, dangerous with how close that is.
Yeah, as it stands to make that 3-second penalty is going to drop him probably down to about P8 if it stays this close to the remainder of the race. But Luke, it seems to be struggling a bit to get his way through the pack here behind Liam. He just doesn't seem to have. It seems to have too much wing on his car because on the straights he's losing so much time. His car is just way too draggy.
Yeah, it's easy to go too high on wings because it just feels so comfortable, and the 1 lap pace is there. In the race, you're really gonna suffer if you have it too high. Also, on tire wear it's a bit better, but we'll see. Petuka trying to reach the DRS. You saw something? Oh.
Yeah, I just went on board quickly with Jacob. Jacob's had a massive snap through turn 1, went a bit too deep and lost the car's Hume. Is now fighting his way through the field and makes another move. So I think Wesker's trying to fall him through, but Jacob manages to hang over, but he's lucky.
Oh, Portuguese Beast is out! He's Maldonado'd it! Unreal. And is that causing a safety car? Yellow flags. This car is ghosted, luckily.
So
no safety car!
Already been moved.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, as we see him, Killer now also putting pressure on Chris to the lead end. He's using his batteries and they go down the inside, but doesn't go too late on the brakes just to make sure I don't do the same mistake as Petuka there as Chris managed to hold on.
Yeah, also there's a kind of weird of a bump on the inside there, so you have to be careful to not get called out on the braking. But that's really out of nowhere, but we saw him sliding a little bit the laps before, but that is a huge point loss already for the Portuguese Beast. That means the quickest guy qualifying is out of the race, and now we have a 5-car battle for the lead. Petuka still not quite in the DRS, a Scream and Chill have a little ding dong on the main straight, the start finish straight. Nothing happening there, but Strakel picks up a penalty as well. Another penalty, that's the second one.
Yeah, that's the second one. It's surprising because Chip's on quite a clean drive with keeping the track late, but I'm guessing he's struggling with the new game, especially on this track. But I've seen Killer again getting really close to the back of Chris there. He's already turned the DRS on, he wants to take the lead and see if he can maybe break the DRS to Chris. So he's now opening the DRS and just flies around the outside of Chris, doesn't even stand a chance.
Yeah, also Liveabout and Luke going side by side. Liveabout just squeezing past, using the battery. He seems hungry. He wants to get Liam as well on the next straight. Goes for the outside line. Oh, is Liam gonna fight this? Kinda. But he's taking in there. Liam late on the brakes. Is that too late? No. He just about stopped it in time. Really good defensive driving. Slid it in there and hangs on to the position. P7. But gets a penalty the corner after.
And goes in too deep for the cars like that. Gives a bit of squeeze then. That could potentially even open the door for Luke, who doesn't seem to be in a rush, isn't using it back, and just sitting behind the Alfa Romeo.
Really close battling, but now Petuka has got a 2-second disadvantage to the group ahead, so the split is happening. It's a 2-race race at the moment. As the leaders just follow each other so closely, look at that. The Alois centipede through those corners. Jekyll and Shum side by side. Oh, and the sound glitch is already returning, so apologies for that. Can't do anything about it. That's Chill. I told you, he gets a penalty. First one of many probably, but he's still in the point-paying position at the moment. And I don't think it's really the last penalty as Alex the G wants to go for it. Oh, needs a curve. Chris makes it happen. Oh, it goes wide, and that's gonna cost him one more position. But somehow he stays alive, I think.
Oh, D-Mart's broken the grass then. He's managed to save it just before he hit Chris there, but it's a lot of that position to get from him. It's very easy to do around this track. Just get a little bit too close to the grass and you can dip a tyre on then. Your car is just completely unstable after that.
How have they all survived that? I don't know, but that's what happens when it's all so close. One guy is pushing the ERS button and then it's all gonna escalate. Liam has more pace than Petuka. Petuka is struggling and he's out of ERS as well. Yes, so we can now get oh, he gets another penalty. Why do we jinx him? Let's just not talk about him anymore during this race. Let's focus in the front again. Alex the G really wants top spot at the moment, I think. And Topish is sitting behind on a set of mediums, knows he's gonna undercut them all. Oh, nearly drops it as well. As Petuka gets passed by Lifeboat as well, and Luke on the inside. What is happening to Petuka? Is this setup just completely not working in the race?
Yeah, I think his mediums are dying off a little bit here, but also just he's burnt through his battery too early, so it's allowing him to just catch up on the trace. We've got a yellow flag for Adamaka, who's spun around. He's already down the back of the field there, but he's having to do a bit of a three-point turn there to get the car, and he has got damage to his front wing. As he's going to cut across the grass there, which might even get him a time penalty knowing this game, but he gets away with it.
Yeah, he definitely needs some kind of safety car. He's into the pits, probably retiring from the session. See how that goes. And he does, yes, so the yellow flag is for that. Let's hope his AI car doesn't kill anyone in turn 1. But he probably was a lap down almost, so not worth for him to keep going. As you can't unlap yourself, I think, in this game, on the safety car conditions. So you have a pit stop. Yeah, Petuka cooked his tires onto the hard tires probably now to the end. That's a long stint. It's fine, but it won't be the quickest ones.
There's Lifeboat here again. He's looking eager to get through Liam. He's not wasting any time. He just wants to get to the front of the field as soon as he can. There's Liam there is also on the medium tyres, so his tyres might be starting to go off a bit, but Lifeboat is pushing to get through as he got past Petuka on the last lap.
Yeah, Wesker and Shakel also having a little bit of a ding-dong on the second straight. Wesker getting past, but Slipstream is more powerful than the DRS, so Shakel wanted to get back past, but he's still stuck behind him now. As we have a lead change, Alex the G using the DRS, easy pass for him. Lifeboat flies past Liam. No contention there. Killer thinks about getting back at Alex, but not quite. Sits him behind, probably want to save some ERS now for the pit stop phase. As they all slide a bit. As I said, rear tire is the limiting factor. Chill getting past Scream. Chill up in P9, what is happening? As he almost drops it. Gets a bit too excited about that P9 and almost dropped it into the wall. Hangs onto it, but he's now 2 seconds behind the group ahead as Tope is pinning already now.
It's early. James got maybe for a bit of an undercut on the car's heads. He thought he was just stuck in the train a bit, but Chill was managed to make the pass on Scream for about the 15th time this race already, but I won't be surprised if Scream's going to pass him again, come down the straight here, but he's quite far back as Taupe comes out in a bit of clean air, but he's going to be catching
Yeah, has to warm up those front tires as well, especially. So that'll be tough. He needs a 2 or 3 lap undercut to really make it work, but the tires will be probably not quick enough to the end, so he'll just be able to hang on maybe for a P5, but I don't think it's that much more possible. Alex the G and Killer swapping positions. Killer thinks staying ahead is worth wasting all the battery, as Luke also is flying past Liam, I think. Liam is going backwards a little bit on his mediums. You see the hards now really taking over. And I don't know why the leads are rattling so much and wasting so much ERS. Chris, look at Chris, he's on the full battery. He can power the whole paddock with that electricity. So he's just gonna stay up probably a couple of laps longer. Killer into the pits, onto the mediums that early. What am I seeing?
got to be confident in his tyre wear if he's pitting that early, because 17 laps on the mediums is a bit of a daunting task. It's doable, but the tyre drop-off will be very significant, as we've seen Liam and Patukas dropping off after just 10 laps, to be honest. As we get another pit stop there from Screams that breaks up the chill and Scream battle for just a little bit. But Chris there with the full thing of battery, or with the full battery, I think he should just start using it, because I think it's just going to waste. He should maybe make the move on Alex G and then pit as soon as he can to try cover the undercut of Killers. We've got a yellow flag.
Yeah, Wesker runs and no front
S.
wing. The other Aston Martin has fallen prey to turn 2. Killer a long way ahead of Tope. Well, not a long way, but he's got a car between him and Tope, so the effective race leader is still Killer now. So how long do the leaders go? That's not a question. They could, especially Chris with his battery, ooh, jumps the curb. They could go really long as Killer makes his move already on Miami, and Tope follows him through on RJW.
Yeah, and I think the friend group of Westgard, Mako and Portuguese Beast, they're all sitting a party together. I think they need to find some new setups. There's 2 DNFs and one of them down at the back of the field there with a broken front wings. Not a good look for that setup, to be honest.
Yeah, really easy to go for an oversteer setup on this track when you don't do that much race practice. Because after they die off, you're really in trouble and it's dangerous to drive them. Leaders staying out, they want to go for that tire delta.
Bit of contact there, and Midge Tope just round the final few corners has a really good run then fresher rubber compared to Miami. And Miami tried to outbrake him and went into the back of J. Cole there. Fortunately, again, no one has spun around, but again, that could be maybe a bit of front wing damage there for Miami as he's understeers quite a bit there into turn 1.
Yeah, Tope really needs to get past J. Cole right now. I think J. Cole might realise that he's on a different strategy. Yes, he is braking early. Smart driving as RJW absolutely sent it. Locks the rear tyres, can't make the corner, Wesker retires in the pits. It's all happening right now. But the most crucial thing is Killer has a 2.5 second gap.
Yes, Luke as well has just made the move on Lifeboat around the outside. He's been saving his battery for this moment. I think he's going to use it to try pull away from Lifeboat, or he might pit this lap as well to see how close he can get in comparison to the likes of Tope and Killer.
Yeah, they lost a little bit of time to the group ahead over the last couple of laps. Lifeboat maybe running a bit out of pace at the moment. The leaders, are they pitting? Are they staying out? Alex G is pitting. Chris, as predicted, stays out, has the DRS, has the ERS. He has to go for that overcut and the tyre differential to then claw it back at the end. And maybe stay out for a little bit of a safety car threat still, especially some people on the really worn tyres now, as we absolutely jinx him again, for Christ's sake.
Chris, he started pushing a bit there, he started using a bit of his overtake button and just went way too deep into turn 1, tried correcting it but was too late and went off the track and picked up a 3-second time penalty.
Alex G outside of the DRS window of Killer, but he has a 2-lap tyre advantage. Tope just behind Mort's, probably going to use him now to get dragged back to the battle. Mort's also 2.2 behind Alex G. So Chris probably getting undercut quite a bit. He's not worried about that apparently. And it's an Alfa Romeo 1-2 on track right now. I've got another second lost last lap to the leader, so you'll really have to use the fresh mediums at the end. Lap time's not too bad from the leaders, not dropping off too much. Now it's a bit awkward. We have 3 guys left at the top. Petsuka making some moves on his fresh tires. Can he make a double move? He's probably thinking about it. Just stays behind for now and then tries to get the exit. Ooh, almost too good of an exit. Helping J. Cole around the track, it seems like. Braking on the bump. Does he get it? Yes, he nails the braking zone. A bit deep. Just about. No ERS left though. But he's making progress again. Tope barely into the DRS of Mortz. I think he's just lost it actually. Chris still staying out. I think that's the way to go for him. He realized, okay, I'm getting undercut anyways. I want those fresher tires all the way to the end. You'll probably be like 10 seconds behind, almost behind Killer, but could make it back up as we have J. Cole into the pits now as well.
Also, Liam is still out on them medium tyres now, 16 lap old, and somehow he's coming back life out. So he's found some pace from somewhere. He's a bit slow through that right hand there, but only 6 tenths behind. He's using the rest of his battery, so I won't be surprised if he pits this lap. But 16 laps on a set of mediums, which looked slow about 10 laps ago. It's good effort there.
Yeah, they seem to go through a little bit of a midlife crisis, the mediums sometimes, and come back to life at the end with lower fuel as well. Whereas Choom is pushing RJW around the track as well.
Yeah, I was just still on board there with Liam, and I've seen Lifeboat go flying off the track there through the fast chicane. Lucky to keep it facing a straight line, but it's definitely going to be a warning there. Needs to be careful not to get any more, as the time penalties around the field are starting to pick up a bit.
Yeah, easy to do that. Choom now gets the exit on RJW. Can get past without using too much battery. Down the inside, RJW still out on the hards. Larkin with his early pit stop also on a set of hards, having a shocker down there. Miami came up far behind. Alex G now with the fastest lap. He caught up quite nicely to Killer already. The tyres are working, they are a lot better than the Killers, so you'll probably catch him quite soon as J. Cole is expanding his collection of penalties. Probably see it at a museum soon. He's probably driving the whole day out, it seems like, but I think still has some chance of points. But if it's all closed up, and especially with the late safety car, he's going to be screwed with all those penalties. But let's see. Leaders, the Alfa Romeos really want to go long. And Chris is only 3/10 off his PB.
So,
not too bad.
Luke as well, just going for the move on Patuca on the fresher on the new mediums compared to the slightly worn hard. Easy moves with DRS. Use a bit of ERS to get it done, but should drive away now and try catch Top up ahead. He's only 7/10 away from DRS.
Yep, and let's see if Liam is pitting this lap. Does he want to go medium soft? Surely not. Oh, as he goes onto the grass. Lifeboat now pitting, he's getting priority at the moment from the Alfa Romeo guys. Don't speed into the pits, lovely job of that. And Killer is now quite close to Chris already. It's not even 10 seconds as Mort's now on pushing quite hard. As yeah, Lifeboat goes, how soft? What? Is he mad? Hard soft. What am I seeing? Mediums are probably better after 2 laps.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do here at all, because Liam as well, he's looking really slow on these tyres. Somehow only a tenth slower in Sector 1 compared to his PB, but I don't see them tyres lasting much longer. So if he's trying to go to the soft tyres, he'll probably need to go another 2 or 3 laps, and I don't think he has the tyre life left to do that anymore.
Well, Lifeboat will be thinking about his life quite a lot after this race when he realizes softs aren't it. But, well, we'll see. If he doesn't overheat them, could be, I think, Luke getting another move done. He's on the move. Past Tobe, who's on a hard set of tyres. Is Chris gonna go for softs as well? That's what I'm scared of. He's missing the apex. He's pitting now. Please, Chris, go mediums, please. It's probably his best chance, but I think he's gonna get a set of softs, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ah, oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, let's see how that plays out. Maybe it works for them if they don't like the mediums, but I don't know. We'll see. Alex the G is hounding Killer on the track right now. Sorry about the sound glitch, can't do anything about it. Chris out of pit lane on a set of cold softs, should warm up quite quickly. Patuca is looking at those softs and gets a penalty immediately. As we have yellows, Mort's in the wall. Mort's in the wall.
Ooh. It's also Hume is absolutely flying as well, just overtaking our screen, but going back to the Morts there. He's just dropped on the exits. Tucker's rejoined very dangerously right in front of him there, but gets away with it, and he does get a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, battle for the lead, and we're going to go 3 wide. Oh, they don't know how to. Oh, they don't know what to do. Liam is a bit scared of what they want to do behind him. Shum gets a penalty. They somehow sorted out without killing each other there. As Liam is. Does Liam know there's a required pit stop in this race? I'm not sure. Patuca and Morts haven't stopped with their battle. Morts wants to get back past. I don't think he has front wing damage. He got away with it. I think he was in the wall. Down the inside. Should make the move stick. Patuca wants to go for switchback. Doesn't have to rear tires. That's not going to get any better. Let's see Chris. He has a 6-second gap between Luke and Liam. He has to catch back up. Alex the G going for the lead. Easy DRS pass. Both of them quite low on battery. It's now probably time to start strategizing and save back up for the latter stages of the race.
Yeah, as Chris says, absolutely all over the back with Torpe, and this is for P4, so you can get past him quicker. It could be good for his race. He gets the move done nice and easily. He's going to set his sights on Lucas. Goes very deep there into corner, misses the apex by quite some way, but his softs just have so much more grip compared to even the fresh mediums of Luke just up ahead. He's got himself in podium contention here, but he has to keep the tyre life in the tyres because as soon as they die, there's no saving them.
Yep, as Jaco is in the pits again. Lifeboat gets a penalty. I don't know what's happened to Jaco. Killer staying close. Does he want to go for it? I don't think it's the best move to go for it right now. Save it, have a look what the pace is about. As Lifeboat actually gets easily past Petuka there. It was still falling back on its very old heart. I think Killer just has to save battery now and see how this pans out and how much Chris is gonna gain. He's now into P3 on a set of softs. Are they the right choice? Is he proving us wrong? Probably. Well, we'll see. As he breaks himself. He's gaining now. But will he still have the tyre advantage at the end? That's a big question.
I don't think so, to be honest. But going back to this race-long battle, you could say, between Chill and Scream. We've seen Chill close in just the past few laps, but Scream is just managing to stay within DRS range here of Hume as we see Liam pick up a 3-second time penalty. So Liam's gone really long on them set of medium tyres, gone for the softs, and he's instantly ruined it by picking up, I think, a new penalty. 6 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a big factor. Also, Chris with his 3 seconds. He needs to pass him and gain 3 seconds, so that's quite ambitious. I'll see how that goes. As Alex G has almost dropped Killer, who's just realized that and is now abusing his overtake button. So the 2-lap tire differential seems to work really well for Alex. Killer absolutely assaulting that chicane. Lifeboat using soft tires, get past Mort. We're still in P7, although he had to reverse onto the track. So not a bad effort for him as he goes wide. Probably warning, but no penalty yet for him. Soft run is still going well, but we'll see how that progress slows down or if he's even gonna be enough to catch back up. Do you also have the sound glitch, by the way, in game, or is it just me?
Yeah, just with a few cars when I go on mods, I keep getting it, but obviously I'm not streaming, so it's not as much of an issue here, but it's just typical glitch. Could say it's lag, but it flies through the final corner onto the back air. Not even using any overtake, but just pure straight line speed and DRS.
Yeah, love move, and then you get a double DRS. You get the DRS although you're ahead. And on to the next straight. The gap is coming down at the front, 7/10-ish a lap I would say from Chris. He's catching. Killer has now caught himself and is keeping with Alex. Still maintains a good battery life, and Alex hasn't even wasted any whilst trying to push away. Probably could have broken Killer there if he pushed a bit more. Who do we have around the bottom end of the points? Chill doing his own layout there, rerouting the track. Liam catching on the fresh soft. Scream doing really well, to be honest. No penalties. I jinxed him, didn't I? No penalties. Decent race. Ex-teammate in F2. Doing really well, just driving safely, and I think that's a key for some people. Just no penalties, no issues. And you can keep it up there.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's just a race of attrition, especially around this track with that fast chicane. It's just easy to lose the car, spin around a few corners, brake on the grass. So just keep it within track limits, drive within yourself, and you get a good result. And Scream's proved that. I think he's, if barring any mistakes or penalties, he should finish P8 this race.
Yeah, and the two Alpines are 13, 14, battling for maybe the last point if anything happens ahead, but they are not having a good one.
Ooh. Oh, so Liam's gone flying to the wall.
Yeah.
He's lost his entire wing.
Almost, yeah, he's not happy with that. Sweeping on a straight. New aero package not working into turn 3 for him. No front end. And I think we saw Topi and Morts go side by side as well. So Morts runs super wide and Topi's gonna have him back easily on this straight. Killer really close now to Alex as well. Lifeboat and Luke. DRS boosting each other. Topi gets past. Killer is staying behind. So many things happening. As Petuka and Joom go side by side into the chicane. Oh, Petuka with the run, Joom with the DRS, but Petuka with the exit and the DRS and the ERS abuse gets past. Joom, lovely move around the outside, very well done. And now it's a 4-way gaggle there as well.
Yeah, it was a great move there initially by you just to like hold it around the outside throughout the chicanes. Patuka, I think he might have just burnt through his tyres a little bit there as he's just losing a lot of time compared to you. And Scream might potentially look for a move to go through. I just won't see the risk required for Scream as he's already going to pass due to the penalties up ahead.
Oh, as Petuka gets another one, let's have a little look at the penalties.
That's in the pit lane.
Well, in the pit lane, okay. No safety cars for that. I think penalties. So Petuka 15 seconds, and Jekyll 9 seconds. The lead is on penalties. Joom also 9 seconds. So a couple of guys outside the points could still have a chance. Larkin, if he's lucky, could still get Petuka. Well, that's not hope so. We've already seen way too many track extensions. Nothing changing at the front. Morton, Tope, DRS boosting each other on that straight. I don't think any overtakes happening other than that on this lap. All settling down. Chris is making the progress. That's going to be close to the end if he's even going to catch up.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see Lifebout's tyres fall off a little bit as he passed Luke on the previous lap and he's just not away from all. Luke's kept within 6 cents the majority of the lap. Bit of a mistake there as well from Life, but maybe signaling the rear tyres have gone off a little bit.
Yeah, those softs definitely, if you push them a bit too hard, the rears will cause you a lot of headache. As Chris just about stays into track limits there. 2.3 seconds, he needs one good lap or 2 good laps to really reach the DRS zone and then hope for penalties, but otherwise should have a safe P3. Unless Luke finds some late race pace on the set of mediums, which is, as you said, looking quite sharp as well. Tope not doing too badly on the set of hards. Highest hard runner at the moment, so hard medium had to be the strategy, I think, as Jake Cole is catching up to Petuka.
Yeah, just one thing I want to note quickly is the ERS levels was the difference between the top 3. We saw Chris early on having like the brilliant management of it. He's down to I think just 10% already, whereas Killer just ahead of him has up to 80%, and Alex Eugene first, I think that says 25%, so it's not ideal there for the German, as Killer's going to be sitting comfortable with 81% in behind.
Yeah, so it's the fresher tyres from Alex against the better battery management from Killer at the end. Maybe a bit of spice of a soft runner, but yeah, how the turns have tabled. RJW videos and Larkin going side by side. That's actually for the final point spot.
Yeah, it's been a good recovery from RJ's. We saw him, I think, have an incident in lap 1 where he's, not in lap 1, not too long ago, where he was just in the wrong way, just due to his own mistake, but can get himself a point out of this race. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, and Larkin thought he could get a point there, but now RJW with no penalties. If he applies some pressure to cars in front, as Scream now gets past Petuka finally, after a couple of laps of sitting behind. Yeah, I think some more points are on the table for RJW.
Yeah, I was on board with Petuka there, and he's done, I think, what Lifebout did. Just went way too deep into turn 1 or whatever, and just had to cut the track, and that's why that allowed. I can't speak English anymore. He gave very poor exit there, which allowed Scream to go through, but I think Petuka's might try to fight this back into the faster game, but he doesn't really have the battery to do so. But he's still closing in with the DRS and slipstream.
Good straight line speed from Petuka as well. Realizes it's not worth it. Does he go for it on the exit? Thinks about it. Uses the battery. Don't think he's close enough. Don't do it, so yeah, okay. Backs out, well, tries to get dragged along a little bit by the others. And Chris is now 1.3 behind. He's still using a battery. And Killer has saved up to 95%. He's in a really good spot if his tyres hang on.
Also, Killers have a penalty. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Condition? I've just noticed that. That's cost him a chance to race there. That opens the door for Chris for P2. But I think Chris is, apart from this lap now, I think he was plateaued a bit last lap. He only gained about 1/10 in comparison. But just this lap already, he's gained about 4/10. But he's 4/10 down on his personal best. So them softs are dying off at a rapid rate. Has he just squeezed DRS? As Larkin's gone into the pit lane.
Yeah. probably retiring. Petuka caused the yellow flag in the last sector, spinning. So that's that. And Killer now thinks it's time to go. He sees Chris approaching, doesn't want to have anything to do with it. And he now has to try to get that 3-second gap.
Yeah, it's going to be a costly mistake there for Killers. I'm 90% sure he won't be able to put this gap as Alex the G's just had not stronger pace, but he's been able to match him for pace all race long here, and he's got the fresher tyres, which will also allow him to keep up. But Chris there, just on the fringe of DRS once again. I don't know where that's the detection line is, but I think he has just about got it there, just by a couple hundredths.
He's missed it.
Is it?
He's missed it. Yeah, I think it's really awkward before the penultimate corner. But the leads are battling, so he's now well within the DRS range. Alex G has a huge tyre advantage in that last sector, so he could stay really close. Make sure Killer doesn't get away, doesn't get a sniff of an escape, and I think Killer now has to worry about the Chris behind for a race for P2.
Also as well with Luke, he's closed back in on Lifeboat, who pulled a bit of a gap after I said he weren't pulling a gap, he ended up pulling a gap, but I think them tyres are going off now as Luke's managed to close the gap back down. Just seems to have so much more confidence as Petuka is now going into the pit lane, which gives another point there to RJ and a point to his teammate in Recurish.
Yeah, all changing down the field. Some people probably... Petuka and Larkin are going to have the fastest lap shootout. Chris with a really good exit. Killer almost has to go for the move on Alex. They're going side by side. Oh, let's go on board with Chris. Watch that. Side by side, a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. And Chris, oh, that's an awkward spot to be. Be careful on the inside curb. Oh. Yeah, it's all shambles, but very well saved, I have to say. That was never going to work. That's not a corner you want to go side by side in. Killer could have left a bit more space, but then Chris also went a bit offline, so... That's just in real life today. That was a racing incident, like between Hamilton and Perez, but that's a different kind of topic.
As D-Morts has also passed this lap for again the 100th time, but Recurish now, as he's caught up to his teammate, has passed him immediately.
And J. Cole with another penalty, he's catching up. Unreal, I think he's got more penalties this race than he has in his whole LOE career. I'll have to fact check that with Rick after the race. Alex is not really pushing on that last lap. I think Killer just might get the DRS on him and the slipstream, and he could get him on the straight. On board with him. 330 Ks, almost 340, easy pass for him. Alex G just has to not get a penalty here. I say it again, not get a penalty here, and he should be fine. He wants it on track maybe just to be safe, but there's nothing he can do about this. Chris is dropping off. Alex the G just has to be careful, you can't bottle it now, son.
He's got a spinner. D-Morts down the back of the field, contact with Tope, and that's going to cost him, I think, P8, sorry, and he's going to finish P9 this race, as his teammate in Chill is also closing in just in behind.
Alex the G doesn't get into the line, he doesn't, so it's Alex the G gonna win that race. Killer won it on track, but with penalties. It's Alex the G being the top G today. Killer in P2 doesn't get punished too much. As what I've just seen now, Lucas crashed after the line, gets P4 ahead of Lifeboat. Tope, good drive on the hard tyres, did his best album impression there. And Droom somehow from P20 gets P8 or P9 or P10. No, P9 it is. Rick, can he get any more positions? I don't think so. P11 for him and P12 for RJW. Interesting race that. And a lot of different strategies. Portuguese Beast stayed in the session, retired early on, pulled Cedar out of the race. And when Larkin and J. Cole are finishing the races before the next one begins, this is it for Division 2 Australia Round 1. And what the result? Alex the G takes it. Larkin, for a good measure, gets another penalty for the unserved speeding in the pit lane incident. And that's it. Alex is the G in the Haas, takes it. First race of the season, didn't race I think in any of the pre-season races for Division 2, but takes it out on track after penalties applied. And if no penalties will be removed, this should be the final result. There shouldn't be any big incidents that stewards should need to look at. as he gets presented with the trophy. And we have final results. Alex G wins on penalties ahead of Killer and Chris. Chris, interesting strategy. Made it kind of work, but didn't really have the ties at the end to fight the top two guys. Luke P4, good recovery drive from him and Lifeboat. P11, P12, make that P4 and P5 in the race. Tope with a conventional strategy, at least gained one position. Stream with a really solid, consistent drive in P7. Mortz with 2 spins, to be honest, really good to keep it in P8. Joom with a good recovery, a couple of penalties picked up. Chill actually gets a point. Unreally gets 3 points. I did him a bit wrong early on then. Rick in P11 and RJW in P12. No points for Miami, Petuka, Larkin and Shea Cole and the retirees as well. Who's the king of penalties? It is Shea Cole and Petuka, both on 15, if I've seen that right. Yes, it is. Truman P9 still with 9-second penalties, somehow makes it up there. Both Aston Martins out of the race, and Liam and Portuguese Beast as well out of the race. So what do you think, what do you make of that race tonight?
Well, it was a lot cleaner than I was expecting, to be honest, especially after the pre-season races. Some great battles we saw between, I think it was Liam and Joom at one point, just leaving each other great amount of space and just great battling all around. And a few great drives as well from people like Luke and Scream to recover from the poor qualifying.
Yeah, a lot of recovery drives tonight, and I think a lot of lessons learned in terms of what to do with strategy, how to treat the tires, and that quali is important. And it'll be probably a bit more consistent in China next week, where we will be, I don't know who chose that calendar, but, well, no other choice than that. Let's see how the pace differential changes, and thank you very much for co-commentating. Hopefully next week with a better microphone consistency.
With this one, it seems to be more
As you said that, you lagged. Lovely. Alright.
That's good.
Alright, I think we have to call it a day. Follow NS6 Montana on YouTube and Twitter. And do you have a YouTube and Twitter?
No, I don't use much social media, to be honest.
Alright, then just follow NS6 Montana. It's fine as well. I think I'll see you next week then. Maybe not, maybe I'll see if the original commentators actually can commentate or not. But we'll see. Probably turn up sometimes this season again. So enjoy your evening. Follow NS6 Montana, have I said that already? And see you next week.